Hello and welcome back to the Daily Dog Walk. We're on season 2, episode 2, and we're picking up right where we left off with Katie at Mildenhall. With same bench, same conversation, just getting a little bit deeper. It's basically us having a proper catch up about life and everything in between. So let's get back to it.
I think even when I saw you and I bumped into you, when I said to you, we were just talking for a really long time.
I know. I think we were really getting on people's nerves.
I think we were. But I said to you about crying, and you said about, it's good to cry, and all the things that I was thinking, you just say. And
I think as well, it's an adult thing as well, like the effects that it has on you as an adult. When you've been through some healing, like you and I both have, I think we're in a very similar place now.
Yeah.
And you understand, like you see it in other people. Like when I went to grief counselling for my mum after she died, I remember right before she died, my daughter's other half, Joe, who lost his mum, he lost his heart. He said to me, he's in his mid-20s now, and he said to me, when it happens, please don't get in your car. Please call me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'll just try to go home. He's like, promise me. And he got really stern with me. He was like, promise me. I was like, okay, I promise.
Yeah.
And the night she passed, I remember phoning him and he was like, you promised me. I was like, I won't get in my car, I swear. And by the time he arrived, my whole body was shaking so hard that I couldn't have. It would have been dangerous. Yeah. And I was shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't stop it. And he got there and he got out of the car and he just grabbed me. Yeah. And like right at the point my legs were going to give out. And he was like holding me up. And I remember thinking at that moment, you get it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that was what it was. And I found so much comfort in the fact that someone was there that just knew.
And they understood.
Yeah. And then at that very minute, I then thought, oh my God, you're so young.
Yeah.
And I whispered in his ear, I'm so sorry you understand.
Oh.
And he was like, I know.
Yeah.
And I felt so much for him in that moment. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't understand this.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
And when I had my grief counselling, I was explaining this to my counsellor, and she said to me, you're in the club.
You mentioned that to me as well about the club.
And she was like, when you've lost a parent, which I think the only thing worse would be a child.
Yeah.
When you've lost a parent, you're in a club.
Yeah.
And the people in that club, they get it.
Yeah.
And there's certain types of grief that's different. Losing someone to suicide is, I can imagine, a completely different level of grief.
Yeah.
Losing a parent, losing a child, like there's different types, isn't there? But you can't understand it unless you felt it.
Yeah, unless you've been.
And I think that's the same with me and you. We're in a place where we're like, we're in the same club. Like, when I see something in you, I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah. I get it.
And we bonded. So when we were in that supermarket, I think it was more about, I mentioned to you about starting the podcast. And I wasn't talking about my past time, but I mentioned about narcissism, didn't I? That's what triggered us in that supermarket.
Yeah.
That's what you resonated with, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
Because, I'm dealing with child abuse. I'm dealing with the fallout of my life after child abuse, and not dealing with it properly and not recognising my own mental health throughout my life. But it all stems from dealing with a narcissistic parent.
Yeah.
And I don't think really people can understand what I really don't. I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I've started to do some skits and I've started to poke fun at myself. And I've thought about maybe doing some skits and poking fun at my mum.
I could get dark really quickly.
Thank you. Someone who understands. Because it really isn't very funny.
No.
It's really not very funny. But I could twist it and make it quite funny by poking fun at it. And that made me laugh to myself because I've not been able to laugh about this for a really long time. And when I was younger and I was at school, I was a bit of had used humour to mask everything all the time. But I'm not very funny anymore. I don't find anything very funny anymore. I'm too serious about things because I understand I understand, the impact of it all.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't find it very funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have thought, I know that I'm getting better because I'm starting to laugh at it now. I can see it all. Do you know what?
Do you think you can go a bit too far the other way though?
You can,
sometimes, right? Because I definitely do it. Like my girls have always called me twisted because the stuff I go, they're like, "You're so twisted." But I think I've just had so much therapy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That I'm in such a place with it now.
Yeah.
And sometimes I talk about it so easily, and I forget that other people haven't had that experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they haven't had the therapy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then sometimes they look at me like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And I did some talks once back when I had my business. I did some talks.
Yeah.
And I did a talk on the effects as an adult, and I went through my story.
Yeah.
But I said it so blasé that at the end there was people sitting there just sobbing, and I'd really upset them.
You didn't
And I was
realise
like,
how
"I'm
much
so
you'd upset
sorry."
them.
But I talk about it so easily, and they're like,
Yeah.
"How can you talk about it like it's nothing?"
Someone said that when they listened to my first episode, they said that is fascinating because you sound like you're talking about it as a third person almost. And it's protection. I think that's my protection. And I think I've always been able to be like that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You know, be very objective about how I sit. Like you were talking about earlier on about making excuses for people, you know, because you level it. Do you know what I mean? Well, it's not as bad as that because, you know,
I did that with therapists. I would say, "Oh, it wasn't that bad." And they'd be like, "Yeah, no, Katie, it is."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "No, not when you think about what some people go through." And they're like, "No, Katie, this was bad."
Yeah, yeah. We downplay it.
Yeah.
Don't
And I'm
we?
like, when you say it all together at once like that, it sounds bad. And that's just because you're grouping it. They're like, "No,
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad." Yeah,
you do that. You do.
And I think, you know, finding somebody else. That's why I got so excited. I know that's really bad, isn't it? I'm excited because of your trauma.
No, I know. It's okay. I forgive you.
Sorry,
it's all right.
But that's why we were in that bubble.
It's nice to find one of your tribe.
It is. It really is. Yeah. So we're going to be doing over the next. We said about 5 episodes, didn't we? And your story. You know, just talking to you because you dealing with it or
I think it's funny you say my story because of what I was thinking this morning.
Yeah.
I have no ill will to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want my dad in my life.
Yeah.
For many, many reasons, which I'm sure we'll cover.
Yeah.
But I don't wish him ill health or ill will. You know, if I wouldn't see him go without or in any struggle. I just don't want him in my life.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the same with my mum.
I don't want any harm on anyone.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same with my mum.
Yeah.
This is why I'm a bit like, should I poke fun at her? Because that's like poking the bear. Or should I just, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I really feel really confident with my voice now. And I don't want to be silenced for anybody, you know.
And that's what I heard you saying. I was listening to the podcast this morning and I listened to all of them this morning. And one of the ones you said, it wasn't you, it was Carol. Is your friend Caroline?
Yeah.
And she was saying at the very end of an episode, and you went, "We're going to end it there." She said, "It's your story."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right. Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make anything up. And I don't want to hurt anyone. But at the same time, this is my story. And if I want to tell it, I'll tell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and if it helps someone, good.
Yeah.
And that's my only intention is for somebody else to go, "Oh, I'm one of your tribe."
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Someone who gets me. That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm not looking to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
But I also have a right to tell my story.
Yeah. You know, because I've been sharing a lot with you over the last couple of months. Sorry, I keep trauma bonding you. Trauma dumping on you. But I'll do something and then I'll send you a message and go, "I did it." It's not because I'm looking for validation, but it's just I know that you understand how hard that was for me. Do you know what I mean? And to other people who just post things online or just do something, to them it's just second nature. They do it. For me, it's not. It hasn't been because I've been hating on myself for such a long time, and you know my self-esteem has been to the floor, you know, because I didn't love myself because I didn't think anybody else loved me. So when I do these things, it's a huge deal. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why I've been messaging you going, "Look, oh my God, I did this," or I've done that, because I never thought a year ago, you know, 18 months, a year isn't a very long time. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It felt like I wasn't able to even post that video I only did 18 months ago. I was still crying. Do you know what I mean? It was really hard for me to do that. And now look, I'm vlogging and doing posts and that, and that's huge for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think people can ever understand that, how difficult that's actually been for me. Do you know what I mean? That they just see you and they have an opinion of who the kind of person you are and who they think you are or who they think you should be. and it never matches. Do you know what I mean? We're all, people's perception's always off, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
If you messaged anybody else and said, I went for a walk in Milnerstown, I did cry, and I didn't feel anxious, they'd be like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm like, good for you.
Yes, exactly, because you understand.
amazing.
You understand. And the fact that I found somebody who understands that I'm not being pathetic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate that's been my word. I don't want to use that word anymore. I want to reclaim that something else, because over the last 30 years, that's my go-to word. That's been my go-to word. I'm pathetic. I don't feel like that now. But I don't want to use that word ever in my vocabulary because it's been some damaging words. My mum always called me stupid before she would pick me up. All the time. I never believed it, so I knew she was lying. It was just her doing it. But I suppose it's happened so many times over the years. And then what was reinforced was that nobody loved me. Nobody celebrated me. I now know that wasn't on me. That was that filmed for him. You know what I mean? And that hurts. And that's never going to not hurt. Do you know what I mean? All those people who are now in my life go, we want to celebrate you now. Still, it didn't take away from the fact that 30 years you didn't celebrate me. So in that time, that's how it goes. And I don't ever want to go back like that. And that's why I think it's really important to do podcast episodes like this and to share our story, because I know there's other people out there who have got those same feelings. And if they can clear our fear, to see another perspective, I think that can help them. I really do think it can help them.
Especially if they're in that dark place that I know you've been to and I've been to, where it's just like rock bottom blackness.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't think you can get out of it. Like when you said you went home and just shut everyone out, and you didn't want to end your life, but you wanted you to stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember that. I remember getting to that point. I remember exact point. I felt like that, and I was just wanted the pain to stop.
Yeah.
And if someone's there and they hear and they're like, do you know what? In a year from now, I could be there.
Yes, you know, absolutely.
It's always change. It will always change.
Always,
In a couple of weeks, everything could be completely different.
Yes, completely.
You know?
I remember 5 years ago, probably 6 years ago now, because we've gone 6 now. So, but it was 2020, and my husband had there, and I was literally sitting in my bed. I could look after my children. My cousin was there looking after my kids, and I was hyperventilating. I couldn't breathe. He came running upstairs to give me a bag, and like I didn't even want him in close to that. That was making me worse. He was jumping on the beds, like trying to help me, because I was like, it was really bad, and that was happening every couple of hours. I was hyperventilating. I didn't realize I could even. That was new, and because I've got really bad asthma, it was really dangerous for me at that time. I wasn't eating at all. And when I did go out of bed and go downstairs, I was just there in the conservatory, just staring outside through the window, thinking nothing. And he'd call me, or he could see me on the camera. And because I was just sitting there for hours and then not even moving, you know, I'd lock myself in the bathroom with the intention of probably hurting myself, but I didn't. And I'd do that for periods of time. It went on for 6 months like that. Probably a little bit under 6 months where I was that bad, but that's when the substance abuse started. And then I was still working, so I was masking really well. You know, I was going to work every day, but I was, trying to kill myself at weekends, arguing with him and not giving up. Like, because I had questions he hadn't asked. Yeah. And so it's reeling from the affair, but it was bringing up more stuff from me juggling in my past. And I realised I'm so codependent. I had no phone. I had nothing, I had nothing. I'd self-isolated myself a long time before I realised how far I've probably been me. And I couldn't even actually function without him. I needed him there to be able to get normal again. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, how did this happen? How did I become this person who I've got no friends, I've got no one I can just call and talk to, I can't even just go anywhere, I can't travel, I don't travel, I've got nothing, do you know what I mean? How did I become so pathetic? I don't own anything, I've got no assets, I've got nothing, do you know what I mean? what's happened to me? When did this happen? Why am I relying on, do you know what I mean? Even if I wanted to walk away, I can't. Do you know what I mean? I'm stuck here and I've got no family that I can go to and ask for help. Well, no family, no friends. And that's when I realised, I don't want to cry about it. I'm going to get upset thinking about it. That's just when I realised that my life was not where I wanted it to be. And then, so I tried to better myself. I tried to just go to work and I was trying to do better and stop the substance abuse and stop, drinking, just try and do better for the kids and everything. And I really was. But then my child's problems started having with the anxiety, with her problems, and that triggered me even more. And that's when I realised, you know what, I'm still not better. I'm still not. If somebody asked me a question at work, what if you had to go back and tell your 15-year-old self advice, what would it be? And I sat there and cried. I stopped working and I cried. Because that's when I realised that my 15-year-old would have kicked my ass. My 15-year-old version of me would have come and kicked my ass. That the 15-year-old version of me would have been like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, what? You let him do what? And what? And you what? 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 Do you know what I mean? Like, seriously. And I was like, right, she's going to kick my ass. And seriously, I looked at myself objectively as my 15-year-old self and I fixed everything as her. I did what she would have done.
Nice.
She put herself into care when she was 15. So I thought, do you know what? What do I need to do? I can't put myself into care, but I can make those people accountable. And that's when I realised I had to talk. I had to speak up. I had to tell my story.
And we'll see you in the next episode where I tell you a little bit more about how I started the daily dog walk. And we continue we finish up our story on the bench. It's about time because it's really cold on there. See you next time. Bye.